Hey, this is Notser, and we're taking a look at some premium ships that were introduced on the public test server. I cannot play them. You've probably already watched some other content for this. I just want to share my thoughts because I play the game differently than a lot of community contributors and a lot of people. So, maybe there's something here that I have thought of that others haven't, and vice versa. So first up, we've got Prinz Eitel Friedrich, Tier 6 Premium German battleship. It's going to have 8 350mm guns, which is a downgrade in gun caliber compared to the Bayern. The Bayern has 380s, they're actually giant for Tier 6, but the Bayern's a pudgy little ship. This is a long, beautiful, elegant battleship. Its concealment is 10.7 with a concealed commander, which is nice. It does not need expert marksman, so you can invest in adrenaline rush, which is nice. The reload's pretty nice, 24 seconds. Couple that with adrenaline rush, and you go get the picture. A guns, okay, probably not really that spectacular. Speed 28 knots. That's above average at this tier for sure. But there are definitely battleships that reach its speed, so it's right there with the fast battleships. Protection from torpedoes, 30%. Not bad. And overall, I just think it looks cool. Good concealment, good overall camo scheme, and it's got just German aesthetics, and I like that. The other premium battleship that will be introduced at some point in 7.7 is Jean Bart. It is a Rich Richelieu battleship at tier 9, so everything is just better about it. Its accuracy, its reload, it's A defense. Everything is just slightly better than the tier 8. It does not, however, have the ability to invest in secondaries that much. It just doesn't have the range. So I think you're going to look at a maximum secondary range of maybe 9 kilometers. Not worth it. This is definitely a ship that is a medium to long range, and if you have an opportunity, you want to exploit the brand new consumable that they're going to equip to this ship for the first time, Main Battery Reload Booster 2. It improves the reload of the main battery by 50% for 30 seconds. I hope they're taking the code from the aircraft fire deck service skill. This skill would allow you to service your aircraft and let them land and take off during a fire. However, it extended it by 100%, which means, 20-second service is going to be 40 seconds. And it was sort of real time, so if your fire was on the deck or wasn't, that number would jump and move around. And that was really nice because you didn't have to have a very specific window to exploit the skill. Hopefully, the main battery reload is exactly the same, and it's just something that in real time it's going to improve. There might be some min-maxing, you want to use it when you're reloading. You don't want to waste the skill and hold your fire, so you want to have a full 30-second window where you have a target that you want to fire, and perhaps when you use the consumable, you are reloading. You're not fully reloaded. Just little tips and tricks to push it over the edge on a useful front. Overall, I'm very excited for this ship, though. I am disappointed that they're nerfing the Alsace so much, though, right when this is going to be introduced. I kind of feel like that looks bad. And if this ship outperforms in its ability to kill cruisers or DDs or battleships, we've got a problem, Wargaming. We cannot have premiums continuously be better than the tier 9 equivalent. Sorry, that's really bad. Thank you. But the real prize of all of this is the British destroyers. At some point in 7.7, community contributors, super testers will be playing these, and what are we going to be playing? Well, the British DDs have been described as defensive in playstyle. I don't really like that, but I could see where they're trying to make them defensive. Short-range torpedoes, absolutely no speed boost, so you will be rocking smoke generator for a really long time until tier 6. It's kind of bad to only have one skill. The fully concealed of the tier 2, not that you would ever have that very frequently, 4.7. This is a 6-kilometer range torpedo, so there is a window that you can benefit from, but it's not very impressive. It's the guns. The guns are really going to be what the British are known for. As we continue up the tree, you'll notice that the concealment gets worse and worse, and we're still on 102 millimeters. Tier 4 is the first 120 millimeter gun, and we still don't have access to that number 3 consumable. The concealment is 5.7, just barely better than the 6 kilometer torpedo systems at Tier 4. 35 knots is the maximum speed. They're not the worst ships in speed, but God, they're terrible. Like, for me personally, there's not enough speed there to be aggressive and to disengage. You don't have speed boost to boost it further. I would have to invest more in the speed signal flags, and I don't really want to do that, Wargaming. But Wakeful, Tier 4, max conceal 5.7. At Tier 5, we've got the Acosta. Still no number 3 module. It's so annoying. So very annoying. The concealment of the ship is 1-to-1 with the torpedoes, so you will be purely defensive. The enemy will have to be coming towards you in order to not be detected if you send torpedoes at them. You can single launch, but you will have to have the enemy coming towards you. You have the 120 millimeter guns, 8% fire, and these ships, the ones that don't have that third skill and have 120, I might invest in Demolition Expert because I don't know that an extra smoke charge alone is worthy of Superintendent. It's just a lot of skill to invest in one smoke charge. At Tier 6, Icarus, and this is the premium camo for Icarus, which I think looks pretty classy. The British have a way of making classy camouflage as well. This is the first where you can have hydroacoustic, although it's just barely considered hydroacoustic. I mean, the auto spot range is, I think, 2.5 surface. The torpedoes, there are torpedoes that will be sent at you that will be detected by just seeing them in the water before hydroacoustic detects it. So I don't know how useful this is. We do get the 7 kilometer range torpedo system, which is great. You can out conceal it by 1 kilometer. And there's quite a few torpedoes, honestly. Reload's terrible. Absolutely horrendous reload. So I don't know how much you're going to rely on it, or maybe you would have to invest in the reload skill for your commander to make it not like complete garbage. But Icarus at Tier 6, it's a pretty good looking ship. I just don't know about speed boost not being equipped. And yeah, you can't select it at all. Jervis is the Tier 7. Camo is the premium camo once again. Looks pretty cool. No issue with the camo. In fact, I really like it. Once again, you can equip speed boost. These are the 7 kilometer range torpedo systems, which is nice. Max conceal 6.3, which is it's not good. And there's a lot of Tier 6s now that will out conceal this ship. There's about 4 or 5 at this tier that will out conceal it, but it is above average in concealment overall at this tier. There's a ton of DDs that just have worse concealment at Tier 7 for whatever reason. 36 seconds maximum speed. Obviously the 120s. We've got the 2x3 gun system set up. The torpedoes have a better reload of 120 seconds than the previous tier, but not the best. 2-minute reload is not ideal. At Tier 8, we've got Lightning. Lightning's camo has a little bit of green in it, which is honestly very different for the British. Once again, you can't use speed boost. This hydroacoustic is slightly better, but I just don't think it's worth it. I would totally use speed boost, and maybe that's why they didn't include speed boost, because I knew most people would use speed boost at the mid to late tiers because the hydroacoustic is so short range. With concealment equipped and skilled on your commander, 5.5, that gives you a pretty good range on your torpedoes, about 2.5 kilometers to beat it. 96 seconds reload on the torpedoes, and you've got 8 of them. So not bad. This is the last 120 millimeter setup, and man, these gun turrets, they look awesome. They remind me of like a dinosaur or something. Like, a transformer dinosaur like the Dinobots or whatever. It just has those angles where it's intriguing, but also a little organic in its appearance. So I like the gun turrets a lot. Very cool looking. I definitely think this is going to be the first one that I'm really interested in playing because of the amount of reload, the torpedoes, the reload, the gun systems, the concealment. I think this is a much better ship than Jervis. At tier 9, we have Jutland. This is the premium camo for Jutland. The gun turrets are slightly different, not quite as dinosaur-like, but the camo looks pretty swick, or swick. Sweet. That's the word you were looking for. Same exact concealment, 5.5 kilometers, fully concealed. Once again, I can't use that. I do, however, decide to go with the torpedo reload. The gun reload is not bad at all. 30.5 seconds, 140 14mm guns. The torpedoes reload was where it was bad, so I felt like if I invest in that, I can get the reload down to something manageable. And it felt pretty good, honestly, from a cooldown. Obviously, I haven't played it, but going from, and you'll see, going from 120-second reload to 105 is a big jump. If I could get it in the 90s, I would totally do that. I might honestly end up doing that with this particular tree. I just don't like that it has a mediocre hydroacoustic and just smoke. It just feels like so little investment for Superintendent. I think I'll honestly, I'll either invest in Demolition Expert and Survivability Expert, or invest in Survivability Expert and Torpedo Reload. I just think that's going to be the way I'm going to play them. But overall, really cool looking ship. Very happy with the Jutland, appearance-wise. I just don't like that speed boost is not on these ships. 34 knots at tier 9 is not fast enough. The rudder is terrible too, by the way. I just noticed that. Yeah, the rudder keeps getting worse and worse and worse. 4.2, 4.6, that's right on the edge of me deciding to invest in rudder shift. But yeah, Jutland, the speed, 34 knots, it's bad. We have at tier 10, the Daring. And the Daring has a kind of interesting appearance. Sort of rounded off gun turrets. And it has this little canopy, which is very intriguing because this is a ship that's supposed to be much newer than the other ships, and that sort of died out in like World War One, between World War One and World War Two, the canopy style. It's obviously to save weight and to provide cover for when it's bright out, but just interesting. Kind of looks like a little house on top of the ship. But this is the premium camo for it. Very light color tones, which is fine. Not particularly my favorite. It does have the torpedo systems, and I did invest in the reload. Once again, you cannot equip the speed boost consumable, which is really disappointing, but that's the way it goes. 5.7 max conceal. Not bad at all. The only ship that out conceals it is the Shimakaze and a legendary equipped gearing. But I think if I invest in 2.5 second reload on the guns, I think if I invest in the torpedo systems and make them just slightly better than terrible, the ship will play overall better. 10-kilometer range, though, you are basically playing with radar the entire time with the British DD line, and I will be very interested in testing all of that terrible playstyle. I really hope the radar just dies out before the British destroyers are in test mode and also in full release mode, but let's be honest, it won't. It won't. So that was the British destroyers. That was the Jean Bart, the Eitel Friedrich. Hopefully this was intriguing for you, and yeah, I can't wait to test them out. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.